Hi Kirsty, Eric Simpson here. So these are my answers to your questions. I thought I'd do it this way because it's easier for me to explain this rather than write out a really lengthy email response. So this is in connection to your 10 ways to nourish yourself talk you'll be giving shortly. I'll keep it as brief as possible. I'm going to make some assumptions, so please do forgive me if I say something that you're already fully aware of. I'm only saying it to try and help you out. Everything I'm going to mention are things I've actually personally done myself, so this isn't something I've read from a book. This is information that I've used myself and used it successfully. Okay, first thing then, PowerPoint you mentioned. Should you use PowerPoint, or you will be using PowerPoint? Something to consider maybe, depending upon the size of the group, you may consider using a flip chart as opposed to a PowerPoint presentation. One big benefit is that it's not going to go wrong electrically, and the other one is I find that personally using a flip chart creates a little bit more interaction with the people you're speaking to. A little bit less clinical than PowerPoint, although PowerPoint is very good. So you may want to consider that. If the group's a large group, 20, 30, 40 people plus, and even if it's a small group, you may consider using gapped handouts. So your 10 ways to nourish yourself, you could have an A4 piece of paper with 10 bullet points on there with lines drawn, blank lines, so as you're going through the talk, they can just make one or two notes, so they're actually filling things in as they go along. Creates a little bit more interaction when you're speaking with people. Again, just things to consider. Starting your presentation off, the format I would generally use is something like a brief intro about yourself, but not go into a lot of detail. And then I'd start off by asking the audience a question about themselves. What are the challenges they're finding themselves with their health? And in doing this, it does two things. First of all, it takes the spotlight off you and allows you to relax a little bit, which if you're not a seasoned speaker might be a good thing. And the second thing, which is very important, which asking that sort of question does, it engages the audience immediately. Not only does it engage them, but it also gets them to put themselves in an emotional state, so they're telling you pretty much what their pain is. And then when you give your answers, you're able to personalize your answers to individuals that are sat in front of you. So your talk's not going to change, it just simply means you can now personalize your answers to the people who are sat in front of you. The other thing you want to mention right at the start, I would suggest, is that at the end of the talk, you'd be more than happy to share and explain how you work as a professional, so that they know at the end of the talk there's going to be some sort of, I'm going to call it a pitch, but really it's more education, because what you're doing is you're there educating these people, and if you make them aware of the fact you're going to be speaking about how you work at the end and give them the option, for those that want to stay to listen to that, they can. For those people who have received enough information from your talk and would like to leave, either they've heard enough or they need to go on to other things, then they can do that. And be clear in that as well. Be clear to say that people can leave at the end if they want to, if they have got prior engagements. It doesn't have people feeling awkward and embarrassed about leaving then. And who knows, even if somebody leaves early, they may well get back in contact with you because genuinely they have to leave early, so don't feel bad about that. But when you make that announcement right at the start, you will be explaining how you work at the end. What that enables you to do is to continue in your educational mode. And when I was starting out originally as a speaker, not that I've done masses and masses, but I have done a fair bit of speaking, public speaking, I used to do the presentation and then kind of do like a pitch at the end, and it was awful because it basically meant I went from being this educator that everybody was engaged with to suddenly then putting my sales hat on. So the way that I would typically explain to people how we would work with clients at the end of the talk would be something along the lines of, so I've done my talk, and for those that want to stay, I can now explain how we work with clients. I'll then go into my educational piece at the end of the talk, and it would be something along the lines of, we offer a 12-week coaching and training program that combines motivation, health eating and exercise to help you get the best possible results in the shortest but safest possible time. I typically work with clients between 1 and 3 times per week, depending upon your goals, your motivation, and your budget. Generally, we'll work with people for an initial 12-week period, and that can be extended until your goal's been achieved. And the investment ranges between 176 and 576 per month, depending upon which option you choose and what's best for you. So that's nice, clear, short and succinct. And on the back of the talk you would have given, if what I've just said, and obviously you will tailor it to your talk, if whatever you say resonates with the people sat in front of you, they're going to want to know more and probably move on to booking a one-to-one consultation with you at some point. So that's just my example. In terms of the outcome you want from your talk, I would imagine, because you are face to face with people, I'm guessing your outcome, the ideal outcome, would be to organise some one-to-one consultations. So definitely have your diary there with the timetable. I'll definitely let them know that you've got some slots available, but do a little bit of scarcity there. Don't say, look, my diary is empty, I can book you in any time. I would have some scheduled slots, and I would basically offer them up some timings for the people who are interested, that want to book up there and then. For those people who are in a bit of a rush and need to get away, you also want to have a sign-up form where you just ask for people's name, email, contact number, that sort of thing. Title of that document would be yes, I want to book up for a one-to-one consultation. So if you've got lots of people there, you don't want them standing there in a queue waiting. So you may have several of these forms that you can just pass around the audience once you've done your final little pitch at the end explaining how you work. So that's my advice for you. Hopefully that's useful. Do come back to me if you have any other questions at all. But as I say, the information I've just shared with you, I've used it myself, and it's been highly successful, and we have converted clients following that sort of format. Okay, thanks, and bye for now.